All right, so back to this. So I don't know what the thing is because I'm not using um my actual mic, right? Microphone. I'm all right, what the fuck just happened? I'm just using the computer speaker, but now it can apparently pick up um everything. So who the fuck knows? But we're continuing on with this. I already recorded, what was it? Reborn earlier today, right? But we're gonna continue on this, right? And again, I talked about this, but basically, and then the plan after this, right, is gonna be Poppy's Playtime Chapter 4. But again, the big thing is we're finally at the point to where this is gonna be the actual part one of Burial, right? We're actually finally making progress into chapter 3. Um, in this file, right? We made the choice of fuck that, we're on the burial route. We are in chapter 3 and we are progressing. And so I'm curious how, because the chapter is just divided into two parts, right? And it's based on the choices you make. So I'm curious where it's going to kind of lead to, right? And subsequently what we're going to do. So so who are we? Okay, I don't even know who we are, like who that figure is supposed to be. It doesn't really matter. All right, we walked up. So now this is Satan, right? A grime soul. Oh, I thought I was gonna say grave, humanize the ritual. So this is what us, obviously, Ashley, right? Okay, so let's see. Are these newspapers? Hello? I was gonna say, how am I supposed to? Oh, they're books. Use the eraser. What does this mean? Oh, that just resets progress. All right. I mean, I don't see how we would. Was there any need to go this way? Think. Oh, you do that because you need to annihilate all the books in order to unlock that. I got this one. There we go. Too easy. Yeah, unlock that shit. Does the light work? Light. All right. This might be a bit more difficult. Got it. Light work. Light work. Too easy. Come on, game guy, step it up a little bit with these puzzles. All right. Light work. Light work. Light work, too easy, too easy. Come on, man. The game's gotta step it up. Game's gotta step it up a little with these puzzles, all right. Where are we now? So this is our family, right? Parents, Ashley, Andrew. I mean, you can see by the designated colors. So what are we exactly supposed to do here? Nothing on the plates, empty, empty, right? So what does this clock do? Can we get to the real world? I don't know why we're messing around with this bullshit. All right, dad's angry, mom's angry, brother's angry. That's us. Is there some like sort of combination? Because I can't, oh, can I unlock books? Hold on. Huh. There's no cashier. All right, nothing's this way, so I don't know why. Let's see. Chances are I'll end up making a black screen video on this as well. Just because the nature of the game, right? And kind of my so all right, hello. So what are we supposed to accomplish here? Now that everyone's mad, So what? Sad, sad. How are we supposed to know what goes where and who which faces are what? Let's think about this. Are these each of these spaces is probably supposed to represent someone? Um, damn. No service, no service, consumables, nutrients. Damn, I was gonna say I lost like any like explanation. Yeah, how are we supposed to know which what faces we're supposed to do? Yeah, the plates are empty. Can I go back? Can't. Let's see. Got nothing to cook. Yeah, how are we supposed to know what combination or like order? It's time o'clock. How are we supposed to know? Where would this be? What would this entail? Um, yeah, what exactly what are we supposed to do here? I don't want to have to look this up. It's like 7 minutes into the recording. Because they started on which face did they start on? It was this face that was started on, right? No service, consumables, nutrients. Yeah, what? 'Cause I'm trying to figure out like, do we get some like extra dialogue if I genuinely have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing here. All right, is it supposed to be everyone angry? Let me just try. I feel like everyone's supposed to be different, but I'm just questioning how am I supposed to know who goes to what? I don't want to have to look this up. What even is the indicator here? What's the indicator for how things go on? I'm trying to find like a pattern or something. You got 4, 3, 2, 3. Is the number of books supposed to indicate and it just goes left to right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Nope. Yeah, I don't want to fucking look this up. I swear, I really, God, I don't want to have to look this up. I'm thinking I might need to. Just because, like, what so, what is this supposed to, and I'm not going to stay here for like 20 minutes. You know what? I'm just going to look this up. Let me literally look up, Decay, burial. Because, like, or decay. Because, like, I'm going to be honest, I'm literally not seeing Decay. Decay. Just give me a full playthrough. Full playthrough all endings. So you have multiple endings. I literally oh my god, I accidentally clicked on some random link. All right. So let's give a shout out to this individual who is yeah, so let's give a shout out to this individual. So we're already this how the fuck did you how did they get the fucking ghosts? You're kidding me. Wait. Is that better not be the same setup I got? How all right, I'm so fucking confused. Okay, but this is why I don't understand. How did they get those fucking faces? Wait. Hold on. I just noticed the clock. How did I? So by adjusting these, you adjust. Wait, the clock? I thought it was the clock. Oh my God. S- So you gotta be fucking kidding me. How did I didn't even click on the portrait? Mother is lime green, father is lilac, son is okay, but what is that? You know what? Why did I fucking delete? I don't know. I thought because I looked at the clock. Maybe I go to the clock now and see what it's time o'clock. I'm not like, am I stupid? How I'm just how the okay, so go back. I just want to know how the fuck how do they get to the how they know what to do? Okay, what the fuck? Let's go to when they first enter. I want to see how they knew what to do. Also, I guess this is about damn 10 hours? I guess they got some decent content. What? Okay, so this is I want to see exactly what they do when they first enter this room. I guess I can expect roughly 10 hours of content. So what the fuck did they do when they got here? Because that's how it starts, right? So again, did all that, right? That's all the same. I just want to know how the fuck they knew what to do. Like, where is this like indicator? Where are they getting? It's crazy how we're like 5 minutes in and doing this. So how do they know what to do? That's all I want to know. Nothing on the plates, right? Plates sit empty. Yep, that's the same. Dude, they fucking skipped it. But this is what pisses me off. How the fuck are we like indicating then? Like, so the clock isn't changing, right? You got to be kidding. What? So you were, but this, all right. So again, you basically had to go in and put every like face is whatever. But how the fuck are you supposed to indicate like are you literally just going based off of like the emotions of them? Is that what you're supposed to do? Dad's angry, mom's neutral. Or I guess, dad's neutral because dad's purple, right? Mom's angry, you're sad, and then your brother doesn't care. Is that genuinely what it's supposed to be? Come on, man. All right. They skipped it too. Here's the thing though. They skipped it too. So that's how you know. Oh my God. I already figured. All right. So this is pissing me off. All right, dude, this is like a horrible. Funny enough, I was being fucking, all. Honestly, I kind of deserve it because I was being all, what would you call it? I was being all, cocky when I was solving those art puzzles. So, Jesus Christ. Can't leave work before 6. I mean, what is it? It's 4, like around 4. Money. And then this is where that one appears. That ghost is hungry. Got groceries, got groceries. Do I need some from here? Do I need to exchange? Okay, thanks, sir. So then I put the food. Oh, I need to go cook, right? So I go here and cook. The food. I have food. I put the food on the table. And now everyone can eat. Dinner is set. Um, so time. It isn't 6 though. It isn't 6, right? So can I go in and manually change the time? Is that what I'm supposed to do now? And then I turn it to 6. Change the time to 6. Are we going I guess we're going, yeah, I was gonna say, um yeah, so it wasn't literally just based on the like presumed expressions of those characters. That's what I'm assuming that is supposed to, but I was like, there was no way I was gonna get that. I hate to say it. There was zero shot I was gonna get that. Uh Knowing myself, that was not gonna happen. So we got this thing. Unspoken line won't you gotta be fucking kidding me. We're doing logic puzzles. I mean, it's a 4x4, so you only have 16 total options. Lime won't sit next to pink. Okay, so that's fine. Lilac will sit anywhere but the left. Pink won't sit near anyone except Grime Soul. Okay, so can I oh my God. So who is sitting on the left? Lilac will sit anywhere but on the left. Pink won't sit near anyone. So Lilac should be on the right. So Lime won't sit next to Pink. Lilac will sit anywhere but on the left. Pink won't sit anywhere but near Grime Soul. So Grime Soul is our mother, so so Lime and then this will be Grime Soul. Or this will be Pink and then this is Grime Soul, right? So Grime Soul is our mother, right? You know, in a Grime Soul. But I mean, there's so are we in hell? Is that so? Are we? I guess this is what the people who are sacrificed, right, as part of those cult rituals experience. That's what I'm taking it to presume. Because Grimesoul has to be we're not Tarsoul, right? That's Ashley, right? Grimesoul. First I thought like Graves. I'm like, oh brother, it's just using the name, but Grimesoul has to be the mother, right? So we're she has a name, I just don't remember what it was. Um Instinct, let's see. Let's see. So yeah, I feel like that's what because again, I feel like that's 100 really. I was gonna say, let's see, laundry day. So we need to get all the laundry. But yeah, I was gonna say, so we're playing as I guess Renee. Renee is her name, right? I keep because I don't know if that's actually damn, what the fuck? Why is he re-saying our progress like that? Well, it's probably because he doesn't, well, but also saying like, we should be doing homework or whatever, right? I guess we just can't cross, Damn, that's just some bullshit on the wall. So again, this is yeah, so again, I was gonna say we're 100% that and yeah, what the fuck is Andrew doing? All right, whatever. Well, I was gonna say we need to do laundry first, right? Laundry is I was gonna say so we can't cross. Oh my god, I got stuck. So we can't cross. That's gonna actually like massively complicate things. So which key the key to what door does that open? Does that open this top door? Which door does that open? Oh my god. Um, so where the fuck am I supposed to go? It's just up, right? Oh Jesus. So I'm actually like kind of so we have this key, right? I can see we need to go up, right? You know, we need to go up. Dude, please don't tell me. Are we like actually soft locked here? Because I can't go up. So what am I? So we have this key, right? But also I know we need to clean the. So let me try to grab the mop. Can't grab that. Oh my God, wait, what the fuck? All right, so good thing. So what is finish your part? So this is it because I was gonna bring up, homework, right? And I do recall at some point, I think it was brought up that Renee had her kids in college. Again, I'm trying to like piece because it's been like a year and a half, probably more since I played chapter one and two. But I do believe at some point it was mentioned that Renee was in college, like when some of this was going down. Kind of left us saying, was this Sayori joke? Let's get it done, all right? I mean, to be fair, that's like a very reasonable response, right? Like they're not like, you know, that's a very reasonable response. So we have another key, right? So I guess we probably need to get just the four keys. So, because I thought we are supposed to go clean that or whatever, but we probably have, something else to do. Because I don't think we can act. Oh, I guess damn. It's very proud. Pink Ghost. So we put in Pink Ghost in timeout, turn on the TV. So, so yeah, we'll just make them watch TV, right? There we go. Yeah, take those crayons. So there we go. Three keys. What do we need for the last key then? We finally doing our homework then? I guess probably finishing up the laundry, right? Nope. Probably doing the homework. And yeah, Lord knows what Andrew's doing here, right? See, unfinished, sorted out, more pressing in a little bit. So then what it was, oh, probably just take out the trash, right? I mean, that's the only other thing I can think of. God damn it. Okay, so we supposed to do something here with Pink Ghost or what? There we go. So now we have the last which they weren't using them, they're watching TV. So we have all four now. So now we can finally get on to because we have four keys, right? But how do we get to oh, are we supposed to now just go like this way or something? Okay, there we go. See, can you do this much? And then so I forget who's yellow again. Bitch, who the hell is oh, yellow's Julia. Because I was gonna say Renee is green, the father is purple. So yeah, and then Andrew is wait, I'm stupid. Renee. So no, this is all right. I'm stupid. This is our color because Andrew is green, right? Jesus. Knowledge. And then we're supposed to do the same for all of them. Show up and do as you're told. So who is she? I mean, obviously, but we don't know if it's. We can presume Ashley, right? You know, damn. I was gonna say it's getting worse and worse each time. Let's see. And because this is what I say, right? Oh, so this is her talking to Andrew, right? So this is because what I will say is interesting, right? And are we supposed to just talk to him now? What? I guess we can finally do our homework, I think is what we're supposed to do. Wrote down. That'll be a walking this. All right. So damn, Because I was gonna say, like, granted, let's not take away from the fact that Ashley is again, I don't think that regardless of if she was born in a functional family, I don't think there's any hope for Ashley. I think she's just a pure, like, a mentally deranged individual. I do think there was hope for Andrew. I think Andrew could have turned it. This was again, I'm pretty sure I made a black screen video on this. I think Andrew could have turned out no more. Granted, at the end, he turned out almost debatably worse than Ashley, right? I also talk about that, but I think he could have turned out normal. I don't think there's any hope for Ashley. But like, I think so. Get that out of the way. However, you do have to feel for them, right? Because it is a shitty situation where Renee, by one way or another, ends up with, two kids going through college, right? Pretty rough time, right? Lord knows what I don't even know if we know what dad's really doing at this point, right? You know. And what's interesting is because one of the another thing or our thing that people bring up is that, Andrew seemed to be the favorite and that, Ashley was kind of neglected, but you kind of see it cuts both ways, right? You know. But it is overall just a shitty situation, right? Grimes soul. Anyway, can we get to the real world now? The promised vegetables. I was gonna say, damn, fucking and Grimes green, interesting. I was gonna say, because obviously that's Andrew's color. Can we get to the real world, please? Like, there we go. About damn time. We're Andrew. So where are we now? What are we doing? What's perfect? It reads so that oh my god, another fucking flashback. All right, so done Graves. And unfortunately, obviously, we know it's not the case. We know how things end up. Because it also, again, there's something to be said about because I talk about how Andrew could have turned out normal, and this is kind of what we're referring to, right? That lost potential where he could have been a normal function, not just normal, but like normal as in like he could have been something. He had potential, but unfortunately, it's kind of the reality. So first over full marks, Let's see. We better have a point in the present. Is oh my god, they're playing freaking Magic, you know. Yeah, and of course it's Ashley, right? So I forget they're the same age, so what do you mean it's your sister again? Oh, of course, because she's sitting down for lunch. Damn, I was gonna say empty ass lunchroom. You only got what, 6 kids in the school? Jesus, In the, damn, I was gonna say she just shoved that dude out of the way. All right, what the fuck? Smashed potato what mashed potatoes? I've never seen anyone put all right. I mean, it's just I was gonna say it's like, it's just food. Like, what the fuck? All right, I was gonna say, well, I mean, Graves in she says Graves in yellow, right? Well, funny enough, yellow is Renee's color, but obviously she's referring to, Ashley in this. Yeah, I was gonna say like, all right, yeah, dude, dude, come on. We actually need a definitive like because here's the thing. I was gonna say we need to know how old they are in this, like whenever they do the flashbacks to like this era. Because I mean, I'm assuming they're in like elementary school. Like, you know, like when they're in elementary school when they kill that one kid, right? This has to be before that point, right? Again, who knows? It's a comparable enough time period, right? I was gonna say that is actually like a crazy thing, you know. All right, that's kind of crazy. But that's all. Hey, I was gonna say we need to take her back. She left that shit there. But also, again, and I'm very curious where like because we don't really have much information on the dad, right? I feel like we have a lot on the other three, but we don't really have much on the dad, right? So I hope we get a bit more of that in this chapter. I mean, she's your sister, like I mean, you can't again, you can't exactly. I was gonna say, dude, just take that shit. It's like be like, yeah, dude, this is a punch. And again, but here's the thing, right? You know, like because and again, Andrew's a normal human being, right? At least at this point in time. Magic the Gathering, and again, the reality being he can't exactly do that, right? So, and this is what like this is, because you can tell the type of situation, and obviously his name's Andy, but I'm still calling him Andrew. Like he's in a situation where he's in a pretty unstable household, right? He has a mother who can't really make it by, and again, kind of had to give up her dreams and aspirations, for her kids, right? Unknown. I really hope we get more information on the dad. And again, he has to deal with basically a mentally deranged sister. Like again, I genuinely don't think there is any hope for Ashley. Like I think that's just who she is fundamentally. And you can point towards the home environment all you want, but I think that's just a catalyst for more Andrews, because he's in a shitty situation, but he's able to roll with the punches and make do, right? You know, again, it sucks, but it's like he's able to like be normal at this point, right? And then is this the one we kill? Yeah, this is the one we kill. So she dies, it was Andrew, you know. Well, again, it's also like and again, because it's funny, and obviously she, because this is Julia, right? You know, and again, they have a crush on, because this is the one we kill. This is Julia, right? If I'm correct. But I was gonna say obviously because he kind of wants, basically, he wants Ashley to be normal, but unfortunately, it's not possible, right? And this is what I mean. The issues he just doesn't know. I mean, obviously, at this point, you wouldn't be able to tell, right? It's something you wouldn't be able to do. But he just, again, he can't cause losses and realize that, Ashley is just, there's no saving her, right? So, also a crazy thing to say in front of a teacher. Sister such an infantile. What do you mean? Leyley, for things by their real names. Damn, what the fuck? Damn, what the fuck? I was gonna say like, all right, just does it solely though, like rage bait, like IRL rage bait. All right, and again, so this is their actual like home seemingly, right? Or their old like it's another test on Monday. Tessie, damn, what the fuck? I mean, damn, why the fuck do they got her face covered like that? I was gonna say, like, we know who this is. Like, you're not shielding us from like any like reveal. We know who the fuck, Mrs. Graves Renee is, right? You're not so you can study at your grandparents. I mean, they honestly like people are gonna dog on Renee, but this is like a very valid, like, granted, saying like, oh yeah, testo man, that's kind of a crazy thing to say. But like saying like, oh, you can study your grandparents if you'll do fine, like don't like put that much thought into it. But just saying like, yeah, shit doesn't matter is kind of crazy. But like, think she got detention. Also, yeah, I was gonna say like, not again, and again, she like a routine thing because I was gonna say like, you'd think they'd notify the parents, right? But I guess if they just take the bus home, right? All right, yeah, and again, this is why like, again, it sucks for Renee, but it's also like again, this is you're fostering, a certain like environment and a certain type of person, especially in your daughter, right? Again, Andrew's smart enough to know. Ashley isn't, right? More so just doesn't care, right? And doesn't like, again, so it's like just bad enough. Yeah, and yeah, Andrew's like, yeah, holy yeah, just let's see. I was gonna say it just manifested. Damn, yeah, I was gonna say crazy thing to say. See, take care of it. And again, because and it's funny because I think we're kind of getting the pieces. And to be fair, we did kind of know this from the start that obviously, even at this age, Ashley again, was kind of like I don't want to say had a because saying had a thing is kind of crazy, but more so just again in over like again, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm gonna be honest, I fought with my brother all the time, basically up until like high school. Like we just fought all the time. But like having like not a sibling rivalry, but again, having, siblings, I guess, be like more reliant on each other, right? So the other end of that spectrum. There's nothing inherently, but again, it's failing to see, and basically, again, just constantly enabling Ashley's behavior, right? So, damn, this is really our task at hand. Yeah, be here soon. And yeah, I was like, can I like explore around a bit? Yeah, so we have to, damn, can I just like low key like fuck around? Hey, my bad. Hold on. I'm exploring while we're in the flashback sequence, you know. I mean, Mrs. Kent. Let's see. Renee instead of bitch, I don't know the fucking difference. Like Renee, how the fuck are you supposed to is it not Renee? Reen? Is it Reen versus Renee? Renee? That's probably what it is. It's probably Reen. Reen Graves, Screwdriverio. What the fuck? And yeah, we're bonding. Mother son bonding. But again, this is also like, yeah, don't hey, sorry, I'm fucking off. And yeah, we know. So we're bruh, all right, fuck off doormat's kind of an insane, like fuck off doormat is an insane, piece of decor, right? Can we just go in random people's, don't bother. So again, and it is funny. So again, so they did live in this apartment, right? Obviously before. So what's the so where does the whole lockdown thing? I feel like that's like one thing that's like not never gonna get answered. Does this actually matter? Where does the whole lockdown thing? I'll just wait for her to come to me. She ain't, making it past. You tired ass. No, you gotta be kidding me. There's that's actually kind of egregious. God damn, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. All right, now this is where I beat the fuck out of my sibling. That's where bitch, what the fuck? She jump out the window? There's no way. All right, she's probably back on the fourth floor then. God damn it. So she's 100% on the second floor then. And again, we have no idea who their grandparents are. Damn, what the fuck? All right, new character, new you two again. Damn, how the fuck you know him if you're two floors down? Like if this was only one floor down, it'd make sense because it's like, oh damn, you two are noisy as fuck, upstairs neighbors, right? How the fuck you know him two floors down? You know? Yeah, kind of crazy. A disturb bro. No, that ain't doing anything. Disturbance report. What the fuck? Crazy story. One time in college, so I lived in a six-story apartment in college. It was actually pretty small. Like I think each of the floors had 24 apartments, but the sixth floor had 16. It was also weird because the elevator only went up to floor five, and then you had to walk up to floor six. But it was low key nice because we had a like patio out on the sixth floor, right? Because it was a studio apartment. It was actually designed very similar to this, except imagine this is one wing and there's another wing on the other end of the hall. Basically, like that's the apartment design. There was one time, it was like fall semester, I think like going into finals. Someone put a fucking piece of paper on the sixth floor door. It was like basically like aired grievances to the sixth floor for being loud. What was it? And again, I have no idea what the hell they were talking about. I think it was someone like gaming in the morning, and like everyone just ignored that shit. It was hilarious. But it was also because in the reason why is because like someone was just like smoking weed in the fifth floor. Like I don't know why the fifth floor always smelled like fucking weed. So it was like fix it. It became like there was a solidarity amongst us sixth floor people, right? But 430 residents from 406. Damn, I was gonna say she already knows our apartment number. I was gonna say that's kind of crazy. Teenage parenthood. And again, that's why it's like she's kind of, saying that to Andrew, right? you know. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying attention. So what are we supposed to do? Sure. I'm just gonna do too easy. And again, this is why it's like I've said, Andrew could have been a perfectly functioning member of society. You know, hey, my bad. Let's see, fourth floor. So let's go back home, right? And then I'm probably just gonna end this after this interaction. Damn. And again, that's where because like I think the tendency because I definitely think when people granted, you also need to look at the types of people who play these games. I think when people were playing through initially, they were like trying to like empathize with Ashley, being like, oh, she was like neglected. That's how she turned out. I don't think people were really emphasizing with like Andrew, where it's like, all right, he's actually supposed to be like kind of the reasonable sibling, right? And of course unfortunately we saw where that ended up, right? Really kind of the only normal person in the I mean we still need to learn more about their dad. you know all right, please pay attention. This car back exact. So again, it's not even. That's how you know they fall upon tough times, right? It's not even their car. They're borrowing it, right? That's how you know it's tough. Please. And again, yeah, of course, Ashley's Andrew's gonna do fine, but Ashley's gonna fuck it up, right? Damn, what the fuck? I was gonna say there's no need for them to be yelling at Andrew here. Like, let's see. And again, that's also like, so I'm actually very curious, you always find, and again, so unfortunately for Mr. Graves, right? His dad probably kind of a critic, because this gets into like generational, I don't want to say trauma, but kind of it is, right? But where it's like a generational, it stems and it goes down, right? It starts from probably a father who's, not too content about the situation of his own child, right? Despite them trying their best. And then unfortunately, that's something that flows down whenever they have kids, right? So it's like, that's it's kind of a shitty situation, you know. And like, but you can't blame the grandfather either, because it's like, it could be kind of a similar situation to Renee where it's like, oh, you set your kid up your whole life, right? Work your ass off, set your kid up for success, and then they just end up, you know, they quite possibly marry, have kids too soon, right? And then you can see kind of the impact it has on them. And it almost feels like they threw it all away for nothing. But one more night shifts to, and again, uh, and again, it's also where he's working extra overtime, right? And, Renee is trying to actually like, take care of him. Like, let's see. And again, it's also, but this is also kind of this is where Renee's, so it seems like kind of the male side of the family is like more like, reasonable in that aspect. But again, Renee, obviously, she doesn't want to come across as like needy where like she needs stuff. But also, it's something where you need to accept, like, if you're like, if you need shit and you're in dire straits, right, you just kind of have to accept that, right? And be like, granted, don't like scam people, right? But like, just be honest about your situation, right? Because, like, I will say, my dad, God bless his heart, right? A great dad, but like horrible money. Like genuinely, like he has a good job and it's well paid, but it's just his financial like planning is just abysmal. Like he should be retired, but he's not. And he only just got a house like a few years ago in this like market. So, he could have had probably a house, decades ago. Probably could have been retired by this point, if he had actually played his, hand well. But instead, he kind of spent more lavishly, right? You know. Bro, yeah, I was gonna say, listen, you do not need to be talking to Andrew here, Yeah, and again, that's the reliance piece, right? Where they're asking on Andrew, to kind of immediate, right? Despite Ashley's already, kind of attachment, draw something. Also, I can't save, right? So the latest episode, what? All right, yeah, just fucked. I was gonna say fucks up his entire homework, dude. I would be pissed, you know. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'd crash the fuck out. And damn, so we actually seen their grandparents though. You know, we could all take some time, to catch up, right? So this is the Mr. Graves's parents, right? So damn, what the fuck? Yeah, all right. So now I'm like, so you see where it all stems from, You're broke again. How in debt are you? Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like they're in debt, more so they just don't have money, right? But or all right, yeah, just confirm it, you know. Damn, what the fuck? All right, dude. This is all right, dude. Can we please it seems like the family's like split right down the middle. These two can talk to ourselves. Let's go talk with grandma, Mr. Graves, and then Andrew. That it seems like it's literally split right down the middle in terms of functioning individuals in this family, right? But this is all right. This is also kind of again, and this is why I'm like, dude, because I how much did I owe after finishing my degree? I think like 17,000. I think it was around 17,000 was the total amount, and I'm just paying it on a 10-year plan, you know. So I'm like, that'd be what I'm actually about should be closing in on year two or no, past year two. Close, but well, no, I deferred payment for a year, but so I should be closing in on roughly 2 years of paying into it, right? But it's a 10-year repayment, and I got what it was. I think 160 a month is what I'm paying. Um, but again, it is that's kind of the reality of so I mean, listen, they got a house, they got a generational family, right? It was a different time where you could go make all that without a degree, right? You're not better for having a degree, right? You're not inherently better. It's just a means to, fulfill a career or earn money, right? Which unfortunately, in this day and age, you kind of need. However, again, obviously in the case of Mrs. Graves, you got to take on a burn for that. And then do you have a plan to deal with that? If not, you kind of shot yourself in the foot, right? I have a fight. Yeah, that's my point. It's he didn't need one. Yeah, and then it's yeah, let's all right, to be fair, I was gonna say the kids are not grown, dude. Come on, they need to have a better surprise. Actually, so do we know their bitch? Please tell us their age. All right. Average Ashley comment. Can I know the ages of them, please? You know. Yeah, and of course, all right. We're gonna save this. So again, we are do we didn't have a choice, right? Again, so we're making our way on and I think this is what we're seeing because there was no mention of well, first off, so we're playing as Mrs. Graves in the spirit realm or whatever. So that was interesting, right? And kind of gain a look into the past. And it's kind of what we suspected, I feel like. But we're actually getting insight into, kind of more of their home situation as well as again, their grandparents too, right? So it's I think, that is pretty interesting, right? And I guess so I'm kind of I don't want to well again, we'll see, but I'm kind of glad the game took this direction. Granted, I guess it's a question of when are we going to link back up with the present day timeline, right? And also, if this is part one in Decay, and if it goes on this route, how does Burial how is that being its own separate route going to play into this, right? Because theoretically, their past is the same regardless of whatever. Also, apparently, there's multiple endings for Decay. Who knows? So I probably shouldn't have fucking saved over that, right? But who the fuck knows? Whatever. I just have the previous file as well if I need to use it, but the big thing is I keep this one because that's one seemingly what will put us on burial if we need to get there, right? But again, we'll see. We'll see about that. Don't really have much else to say. So yep, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.